Hi all, my name's Ashlee and I'm one of the college counsellors at Gleeson College. Today I'll be spending some time talking to you about eSafety. As a parent, guardian, carer, family member, teacher or counsellor, we all have a role to play in helping children and young people safely navigate their digital world and to educate them to avoid harmful online experiences. So your support and guidance can give your child the confidence to make sound decisions online and to ask for help when they need it. So today I'll spend some time talking to you about online safety basics, applications, privacy, cyberbullying and screen time. And throughout this vidcast, you'll also find some helpful links pop up on the screen, which will direct you to other resources and websites for further information on the topics covered. So I'd like to spend some time talking about cyberbullying. So in 2021, 44% of Australian young people reported having negative online experiences in the last 6 months. This included 15% of those young people who received threats of online abuse. So sadly, this statistic is almost half of Australia's young people having experienced a negative online experience, shows the very real risk that young people are faced with every day when engaging with social media. So cyberbullying is usually a repeated behaviour or behaviours aimed at making someone else feel bad or upset, and can include sending harmful and hurtful messages to someone, sharing embarrassing photos or videos of someone else, spreading online gossip, leaving someone out online, creating fake accounts in someone else's name, and tricking someone into thinking you are someone else. So these are just a few examples of what constitutes cyberbullying. And for the person experiencing cyberbullying, these behaviours can create a sense of shame, embarrassment, anger, frustration, or result in someone feeling isolated or upset. So cyberbullying is more likely to be experienced outside of school, whereas offline bullying is more likely to be experienced in school. Therefore, an important message to remember is that there are things that young people and parents and caregivers and family, all of those important people in young people's lives, can do to help stop cyberbullying. The children and young people can tell a trusted adult about the bullying. They can change the settings on their phone and applications. They can report the bullying to the social media site that they're using, or the gaming site or the app, or they can contact the eSafety Commissioner, and you'll find their details pop up a bit later on this vidcast. So for adults, it's really important to create an open dialogue about cyber safety with children and the young people that we're working with every day. It can be difficult at times to not react immediately, but it's important to listen, think and pause to gauge the scale of the problem and then think about the best course of action. So if your child has experienced cyberbullying, you might wish to seek help from a school counsellor, a house leader here at the college, call a helpline or an external professional. Again, some of this information will be popping up later on your screen. So empowering your child to make wise decisions for themselves is one of the most powerful tools to help build their sense of self-worth and their resilience. So I'm just going to spend some time now talking about applications and privacy settings. So getting to know the devices children and young people use and setting them up for privacy and online safety is really important. Taking advantage of parental controls to monitor and control screen time and access to content is really important as well. So no parental control tool is 100% effective. Therefore, helping your child build good online safety habits is just as important as being able to implement those controls. So the eSafety Commissioner suggests that children with restrictive parents are less likely to be exposed to harmful content, but they are also much less likely to engage in supportive and protective online activities. Young people, particularly adolescents, can spend a lot of time online. Instant messaging, sharing photos and videos, playing games and using online chats through social media services can be a big part of a young person's social identity and the way that they communicate with each other. So the increase we've seen in social media use, particularly during COVID, has exposed young people to a whole range of risks, including cyberbullying, image-based abuse, online harassment, and online grooming. So whilst connecting online is really important for young people's identity, their peer relationships and connections, and we don't want to stop those things completely, there are a variety of applications that parents and caregivers and families might wish to familiarise themselves with. So some applications that young people at the school talk to us a lot about in the Wellbeing Centre are things like Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok and BeReal, and these are just to name a few. So it's important to explore the websites, games, apps, and social media together with your child to set some rules. So in the Wellbeing Centre and across the college, we've heard about a lot of apps, as I mentioned, and particularly we're hearing a lot about apps called Be Real and TikTok. And it seems to have an increase of students engaging in these particular platforms. So Be Real is a social media app that asks users to take a quick snapshot of an authentic moment during their day to share with their followers. So Be Real and TikTok have something in common, and that is that users can engage with people from all over the world. So there are several areas of concern, particularly for Be Real, including it doesn't have a lot of parental controls and blocking within their safety settings. If we think about TikTok and have a conversation about that, so TikTok is a video streaming and sharing app. There is a digital wellbeing tool on TikTok, however, where parents and children and young people can set daily screen time and limit certain videos with restricted mode. And there are other things that adults can do to help young people use apps safely, including discussing responsible sharing, a walkthrough of image ownership together, which includes really helping the young person understand exactly how their images belong to them and encourage sharing safer images. Identify their trusted adults, so having a conversation with young people about who can they seek out for support if they're having difficulties online. Talking to them about protecting their personal information and helping them to understand their rights around reporting inappropriate or harmful content. So it's important to be aware that apps like Be Real and TikTok can share the user's locations when a post is shared. So sending an image from home or out in the community, it can be very easily for the public to find out where that young person is sharing that information from. So it's therefore really important to review with your child whether their location services are enabled in these particular applications. And there's some more information and helpful tips on how to do this, particularly on the eSafety Commissioner website. As well as the Carly Ryan Foundation has a lot of information about particular applications that parents and caregivers may not be aware that their young person's accessing. And again, this information will be shared later on in the vidcast. So I'm just going to move along to screen time. So we know that too much screen time for young people can lead to impaired social emotional literacy, lower empathy and problem-solving abilities, and difficulties in self-regulation. So whilst time on screens and on social media are highly engaging and stimulating and form a part of young people's identity, as we discussed before, and their way to communicate with one another, this can unfortunately make everything else, including human contact, feel like a bit of a letdown. We know that human connection provides the foundation for healthy well-being, social emotional literacy, resilience, and academic potential. So whilst there's no magic figure for how much screen time is the right amount of time for each young person and child, it's important to consider whether screen time is getting in the way of other things that are important to your child, such as sleep, exercise. Is it impacting their face-to-face conversations or even their school attendance or work that they should be doing? So I've just popped up on the screen some signs to watch for. Can include less interest in social activities like meeting friends or playing a sport. Perhaps they're not doing so well at school, or there's decreased attendance at school. They might be exhibiting signs like tiredness, sleep disturbance, headaches, eye strain. You might notice some changes in their eating patterns, reduced personal hygiene, obsession with particular websites or games, appearing anxious or irritable when away from the computer or a screen, or perhaps withdrawing from friends and family. So we know that some of these behavioural changes are a normal part of growing up, but if you are concerned your child is struggling, it's important that you seek support if you're noticing a cluster of these behaviours or a pattern. So if necessary, you can get help for your child through counselling support. That might be at school or out in the local community, by reading important information with them, to them, about cyberbullying, gaming, and helping a child to create a plan around rules for electronics is also really helpful and important. That helps to set boundaries and limits. Some rules that some families have come up with might be to include no devices in the bedroom, particularly for younger children, devices being charged overnight in a place that your child can't access, switching off screens and devices during dinner time to create a space where everyone can have a conversation and connect face to face. Most importantly, role modelling appropriate use of screen time is a really helpful way to be able to demonstrate to our young people and children, healthy boundaries around our screen time. So lastly, I just wanted to comment that building digital intelligence is about promoting respectful communication, encouraging empathy, teaching children and young people to question if things don't feel or look right, encouraging safe and responsible behaviour, and helping them to build resilience. So fact sheets and tips can be found on the eSafety website with some links attached. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to the college for further support. People such as house leaders or college leadership or us in the Wellbeing Centre, the college counsellors, will be more than happy to answer any questions or support young people around eSafety. Thank you.
The Office of the eSafety Commissioner, eSafety.gov.au website is your first port of call for all information for both students and parents. There are webinars families can register for to watch online. There are educational games for kids to learn about eSafety, and there's information written specifically for children as the audience. There's also a reporting mechanism for online abuse and tips on how to respond to online bullying. The Carly Ryan Foundation has fantastic new device checklists and app info sheets for all social media apps and some games, and it goes through which settings you want to switch on or off to make sure you're safe online. The Kids Helpline is kids' go-to resource for anything that's happening online. For example, it could be friendship issues or other advice. There's also the phone line they can call for help as well. The Australian Cyber Security Centre has a function where families can subscribe for alerts for new e-threats at cyber.gov.au. Jocelyn Buer is a teacher, psychologist, counsellor and eSafety expert with a pro-technology stance who we've had speak to our college community before. She runs various webinars and workshops each year, such as Untangling Your Teens from Technology, and also has information on her website about how to set up family tech use agreements with a positive stance to using technology. Raisingchildren.net.au has more resources for advice for parenting. There are two parts to our shared responsibility for eSafety. One part for families is to ensure that students are safe at home. One of our roles as a school is to help students understand important safety principles so they are also safe at school. A range of policies exist at Gleeson to help. For example, our mobile phone policy prohibits students using phones in the yard or during lesson unless explicitly directed to by a teacher. This ensures students can't take photos or send unwanted messages. Our BYOD network and use agreement are also incredibly clear about what students should and shouldn't be doing on our computer networks. Our harassment and bullying policies also contain information regarding how we treat harassment and bullying at Gleeson College, as well as the relevant consequences students can expect. Cybersmart presentations, resources and upskilling are also part of our pastoral care program, which exists as part of Faith and Living, with year-level specific content delivered each year. Thanks for checking out our eSafety vidcast. You can find more resources on esafety.gov.au, as well as a selection of resources at gleeson.college/esafety. Thank you.